Oh. Right. Before I start, I'd like to point out a mistake I made, which was pointed out by somebody else who watched the last episode of A Coffee with Kev, entitled Male Insecurities, Influences and Influences Part 2. Apparently, it wasn't Jordan Peterson that said men should regulate their emotions, okay? It was Andrew Tate that said that. Either way, I mean, if some 21-year-old left-wing university student who didn't believe in God started blubbering like Jordan Peterson's been blubbering all over the interweb, I'm sure he would have said something like that about him, anyway. Only academic Christians who spent the majority of their adult life in a university and have probably absolutely no idea about what it's really like out there in the real world beyond cases they've studied are allowed to cry, I guess. Disenfranchised atheists who'd rather get stoned in their untidy bedrooms instead of going to church, they can cry. Well, that's narcissism, that is. They wouldn't survive in the gulag. Yeah, Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate, whatever. Either way, whenever I hear any of these online male influencers, I'm like, oh, who the fuck are you? I'm helping people to escape the Matrix, I am. I'm helping people to escape the Matrix. I'm like Morpheus, I am. I'm like Morpheus from the movie The Matrix. Ooh, how lovely for you. Yeah, I've seen The Matrix. I saw it once, okay? I thought it was a good film. I enjoyed it. But I'm not like one of these dopes that gets a hard-on every time they watch that scene where Keanu Reeves learns karate. I remember I went to see it, and there was, right on that scene, there was dweebs all over the cinema going, oh man, oh, this is so cool, I'm going to get karate lessons now. Yeah, it was a good idea, I liked it, but I say again, at what point in the movie did Morpheus sit down with Neo and go, oh, I like my watch? £250,000 this cost me, diamonds encrusted. Yeah, any man that doesn't own a supercar is a fucking pussy. How much money you got in the bank, you fucking pussy? I got loads of money, I have. I got loads of money. My girlfriend is better looking than yours, you fucking pussy. I have loads of fucking girlfriends. Yeah, that's not how I remember it. Maybe that was on the deleted scenes on the DVD or something. I mean, Morpheus was the complete opposite. All of them, they were like a bunch of homeless people floating around the void in some crappy spaceship. They're all eating gruel and getting jealous because the woman that runs across walls is more interested in John Wick after they've spent the last 5 years trying to chat her up and getting absolutely fucking nowhere. Oh, she fancies him, don't she? Yeah, she fancies him, I can tell. She fancies him. She's the only reason I swallowed the well-read pill in the first place. Yeah, I thought she was fucking flirting with me. Fucking stuck-up bitch. Man, Morpheus, he can go and fuck himself as well. Why couldn't he just tell us about the Matrix instead of sitting in that chair like Bernie Winters and pretending to be all philosophical and cryptic? Fucking groomed us, that's what he did. He groomed us into joining him on his crappy little fucking spaceship because he's lonely and he can't fight his own battles. We've been groomed. Fucking coercive cunt. Every night when he goes to sleep, he hooks himself up to the internet and has imaginary orgies while I'm laying in some grotty bunk bed knocking my top off to vintage copies of Fiesta and razzle shaven havens with all the fucking pages stuck together, Man, I knew I should have fucking swallowed the blue pill. Yeah, the people in the Matrix, they weren't swanning around in expensive suits, smoking fat cigars on yachts while sat behind a laptop, sharing Facebook reels of themselves driving sports cars and ripping people off with crypto coins. Whatever the fuck that is, okay? Yeah, bear in mind, okay, this episode is only based on about 15 minutes of research as far as, say, Andrew Tate is concerned, you know, and I've seen The Matrix once in 25 years, so yeah, I might be wrong in all of this, alright? It's not like I'm getting paid to do this shit, I'm just having a rant. You know, as a matter of fact, the only expensive clothes the good guys wore in the Matrix was those black leather outfits. You know, the black leather trench coats that could be wiped clean from all the fanboys sat in a cinema, jizzing over the action scenes. And there's only so many times you can see people flapping about in slow motion on invisible strings before the novelty wears off. You know, the last half hour of that fucking movie is just people going. I'm walking out of the cinema thinking, well, that could have been a half hour shorter at the end, and you know, and then all these dull, trendy bastards are having a circle jerk in the foyer. Oh, the music in that scene. Yeah, when he sees the woman in the red dress, when he's walking down the street with Morpheus, when Morpheus, oh, so cool. Yeah, I'm going to come just thinking about it. By the way, anybody, okay, if you went to the cinema to watch any of the sequels of The Matrix and didn't walk out after the first hour, you're a cunt. Oh, come on, Kev. Oh, you know, that scene in Matrix 2 when Keanu Reeves is fighting hundreds of those agents and that car chase, that was cool. Oh, you're a cunt, I says. Alright, you're a cunt. Man, if Morpheus and the gang was real, okay, and they unplugged Andrew Tate from the Matrix and took him on board their little spaceship, I guarantee after about a week, Morpheus would call him into the office and he'd be like, Andrew, it's not working out. You're giving off the wrong vibe. You know, we're here to help people that are weaker, not berate them for not having as much money as you and showing off. You're missing the fucking point. You know, sorry, you're a good laugh, very eloquent with your words, highly intelligent, but you're getting on everyone's nerves talking about how wonderful you are, okay? So we'll drop you off at the next exclusive nightclub we come across and you can go chat shit to a bunch of catalogue models behind the velvet rope in the VIP lounge or whatever the fuck. You know, as far as researching Andrew Tate goes, you know, I watched a clip of him earlier shouting down the camera at Piers Morgan. Are you one of them, Piers? Yeah, you know what's going on. You're not a journalist. You're not a real journalist, Piers. You're one of them. The Matrix is out to get me. You know, and it's weird because the last time I saw Piers Morgan talking to him, they seemed like they were friends. I mean, make up your fucking mind, Piers. You know, one minute you're saying he's a human trafficker and a threat to all the minds of young men with a smartphone, and the next minute he's a political pundit, and you're asking him about his opinions on the state of Britain. I'm fucking confused. You know, a few years ago, one day, okay, I get shown a video of Andrew Tate on my dinner break by one of the young drivers during the pandemic, and I'm thinking it's a comedy character. A few years later then, I switch on the news and, you know, mainstream television, and him and his brother are being sent to jail, and there's footage of him claiming to be a pimp and a pornographer, being accused of all sorts of heinous shit. You know, and then only I see him on Piers Morgan, and he's talking about wanting to be Prime Minister. I don't know what to think. I'm like, what in the name of fuck is going on with this fucking guy? What am I supposed to think? Man, I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up being Prime Minister. If he gets into power, I'll be like Roddy Piper in that John Carpenter movie, They Live. You know, when he puts those special sunglasses on and he looks at the television screen at a politician talking on the news, and then when he puts the glasses on, you can see that the politician is really an alien. And he just laughs and he goes, man, it figures it would be something like this. Okay, that's me. I reckon once the cameras were turned off at the end of Piers Morgan Uncensored, after the explosive argument with Andrew Tate, okay, I reckon Piers Morgan probably, checked the microphones to see if they've been switched off, and then he looks at Andrew Tate on the monitor, who's now smiling and laughing. He's like, whoa, he's like, oh, well done, Andrew. Oh, the views are going up in the thousands already. Yes, you really are a fantastic orator, and you'll fit right into the political arena, I'm sure. This calls for a celebratory Cuban cigar. Yeah, I don't usually smoke cigars because they give me heartburn. But seeing as you bought a box of them for me from Cuba as a gift, how could I not? Oh, yes, those fucking dumb fucks out there in Zombieland, they won't have a clue. Oh, wait until you get into power, these fucking wokies. I don't trust anyone or anything anymore. Okay, left, right, for, against, this guy, that guy. To me, it's all starting to look a little bit rehearsed. Like, professional wrestling. Okay? Like I said in previous episodes, as soon as PM question time is over in the Houses of Parliament or Westminster or whatever, and the camera's turned off, Keir Starmer, Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson, or whatever the fuck, are probably all quaffing bottles of expensive champagne, sucking each other's dicks while thinking up ways to instigate a civil war. A good old son of a toolmaker on his knees. And, oh yes, Nigel. Oh, I predicted a riot on the very same day that I made the brick card mandatory. What do you think, Boris? Yeah, when do you think the working classes will kick off and there'll be a riot? It's all so fucking confusing, man. I don't trust anyone. Okay, I take it back. What I said last week about conspiracy theories and all that, no, in my luck, they probably are all fucking lizards. Join us, Kevin. Join us, you fat fuck. Join us in our plan to take over the world and turn everybody into Kentucky Fried Chicken and beef burgers. Join us. Join us. Join us, you fucking fat fuck. I wonder, okay, if at night time, okay, Andrew Tate is laying in bed at night, smoking a cigar, worried about all that's going on, with all the allegations and stuff like that, thinking, man, I wish I just shut my fucking mouth. I wish I just shut my mouth. I genuinely thought that he was a comedy character. Like that bloke, John Peel, Jonathan Pye. I thought it was that kind of thing, I just used to think that Andrew Tate was taking a piss, expecting him to have his own sketch show on television and doing different characters in the vein of, like the Ali G kind of thing, where he's saying stuff to purposely piss people off for hits and clicks and views. And now whenever I see reels of him on Facebook banging on about, I got a massive car collection, I I've got every colour Bugatti to ever come off the production line. I've got so many cars that if I drove a different car every single day for the next 6 months, I still would have only used a third of my collection of expensive supercars. Every single car in my car collection is a fucking supercar, okay? My fucking car collection is fucking more super than Superman. I'm like, okay, dude, chill your beans, okay, chill your beans. I'm happy for you. I'm genuinely happy for you. Can't fault it. Just, get your teeth fixed. You're fucking spitting all over me, man. What the fuck? The Matrix is real. The Matrix is... Yeah, we already know that, clever clogs, okay? We already know that the Matrix is real. Aren't you supposed to be the one... Okay, are you the one that's supposed to be showing us how to escape the Matrix? Isn't that the whole point to you asking young men for their money? So you can show them how to escape the Matrix? Or is it the other way round, where the money all those young men send to you to teach them how to escape the Matrix is what is used to pay off those that run the Matrix in order for you to escape it? I don't know. What the fuck do I... what do I know? I'm a 52-year-old fat man living home with his mum and his sister screaming into a camera in his bedroom. What the fuck do I know, man? I'm just trying to stay sober and not kill anyone from my past who fucked me over. You're the one with the expensive watch and the impressive car collection. I mean, forgive me for applying logic to your predicament, okay? But maybe, just maybe, the first rule of escaping the Matrix should be, don't talk about escaping the Matrix, especially on the World Wide Web. Okay, isn't that obvious enough for you to comprehend? I mean, I don't want to blow cigar smoke up your ass, okay? But you are intelligent as fuck, the way I see it. How you never saw that major flaw in your USP of your business model is fucking baffling to me. It's like the Shawshank Redemption, okay? You don't see Andy Dufresne at the end of Shawshank Redemption after he spent 2 decades digging his way through prison walls every night with a fucking little hammer or a spoon. You don't see him at the end of the film saying to the warden before he escapes. You don't say, listen, warden, before you go home tonight to your wife, I may as well tell you that I'm going to be escaping through a big hole I dug in the prison wall for the last 20 years. And when you come in, back in the morning, I'm not going to be here. Okay? No! What sort of divvy tells their captor that they've discovered a way to escape their captor's captivity? Talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I mean, on the level, okay, if you've come from a working class background, and now you're a multi-millionaire by the age of 40, you've won. Okay, you fucking won and then some. Every day is a holiday. You and everybody you love will be sorted, and you can spend the rest of your days enjoying the kind of existence most of us, okay, only dream about. Superb, well done, okay? Alright, I applaud you. 10 out of 10. I genuinely take my hat off to you. Alright, that's the moment you have genuinely beat the system and escaped the Matrix. I applaud you. Go live and enjoy it for the rest of us who are most probably going to be stuck in factories and on building sites for the rest of our days, taking shit from some Billy Big Bollocks who we're not allowed to execute with a lump hammer without getting into trouble with the law. Okay, you've won. You've won. Fortune favours the bold and all that malarkey. Alright, that's the moment when you ride off into the sunset with your woman or your women and your children, and you live happily ever after like the hero at the end of your very own made Hollywood movie about a young lad that went from rags to riches and retires by the age of 40 as a multi-millionaire. But no, there's a cost of living crisis going on, and you're still over the internet going, no, look at my watch, you fucking peasant. Look at my watch. I've got more money than you fucking losers. Anybody that doesn't have what I have is a fucking pussy, you fucking peasant. You'll never own a car collection like mine, you fucking peasant. You fucking pussy, fucking peasant. Sucking succotash. You know, I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? What are you doing? Have some class, okay? Get off the fucking internet. You're free. You were free. You know, me, I'm a brokey. Isn't that the word that all these alpha red male influencers online keep using to describe anyone that doesn't have what they have? A brokey. I'm a brokey, okay? Like I said, I'm 52 years of age. I still live with my mum and sister. I don't have a driving license, let alone a car, okay? I'm an ex-drug addict recovering from a stroke. Yeah, all I got is a collection of second-hand DVDs. That's my flex. That's my Bugatti, okay? And the Matrix isn't in there either, all right? And I'm telling you, I'm serious. I would much rather own these DVDs than a Bugatti or a McLaren or whatever they keep on banging on about, okay? If I was a millionaire, I'd still be spending it on DVDs, alright? I'd just be watching them on a bigger television with a better sound system. I'd go on holiday a few times a year and to more live gigs. That's it. Alright, the rest I'd just keep for when my family or close friends needed some cash. I'd pay their mortgages off, and I'd upgrade my recording equipment to do these fucking vlogs, you know? Yeah, either that or I may go on a massive bender and I'll be dead within a year. Who knows? You know, but what I wouldn't do is show off and rub it in the faces of people who are struggling. No, but hey, you know, I've already lost according to most people in my life. I mean, personally, I don't think so. Alright, I believe there's a genuine life hack to be discovered by not wanting to get married or having kids and living at home with your mum. Okay, you know, I mean, any of the people in my life that look down on me for not being able to drive or not having a place of my own and not having children, you know, Kevin's a loser. Yeah, he still lives with his mum and he don't drive. Yeah, he don't even drive, yeah. Yeah, all those people, okay, in my life, they're bitter, miserable, judgmental, fucking drunk cunts. I just sat in a pub every weekend with other bitter, miserable, judgmental, fucking drunk cunts, you know, talking about stupid shit like, you know, this week's episode of Celebrity Gogglebox or the football. You know, fuck that. Fuck that. I'll stick with being me, thank you very much, okay? Judgmental fucking... I had a look at the red pill community quickly though, okay? All of them are obsessed with the Matrix, that's why they call it the red pill community. You know, there's loads of all these Andrew Tate wannabes. You know, me, I say this, okay? As far as movies go, don't watch the Matrix, okay? Especially if you become a multi-millionaire who has come from nothing. Okay, I suggest you watch Martin Scorsese's Casino instead, okay, because that's more closer to the truth. That you know, the Matrix or the system is always going to be there, whether you like it or not. Okay, doesn't matter who you are, you're never going to escape it. I mean, you know, sorry, you know, who the fuck are you? You know, you fucking special. Make no bones about it, okay? Behind every top G is a real G that wants their cut. Okay? Just because you escape one matrix doesn't mean that you'll escape from another matrix. Alright? There's always a handful of old, ugly fat fuckers, okay, with big sausage fingers, sat in back rooms filled with cigarette smoke, pulling the strings. Always has been, always will be. You know? When you earn that kind of... It's not the Matrix you need to be worried about, okay, when you're making millions. It's the people you surround yourself with. The sycophants. Okay? The ones that say they got you back. Okay? The woman whose love you can't buy. No matter how big the wedding party or how expensive the dress, you have forked out for, okay? You know, you may have forked out for one of the biggest, best weddings in the entire history of all the biggest and best weddings there ever was or ever shall be again, to prove to this woman how much you love her. The probability is she is most definitely thinking about another man every time you fuck her. I'm sorry to not stroke your ego, but, you know, women are not laying in bed at night, okay, flicking their bean while thinking about some fucking red pill millionaire online alpha male influencer. Okay, the guy with the money, the millionaire, okay, the millionaire online alpha male red pill influencer, he's the John, he's the trick. Okay, he's the one that's getting tricked. He's the man, the man that she's thinking about to make herself come and bringing herself to an orgasm that's going to be convincing enough to let the millionaire online alpha male red pill influencer think she actually loves him. Is the bodyguard or one of his mates, the Amazon delivery driver, the pool cleaner, the window cleaner. The guy who's been contracted to build the new conservatory with a tool belt, wearing a high-vis and a hard hat. That's what she's thinking about when she comes. Not the fucking dickhead that paid through the nose and got her to sign a prenuptial agreement before marrying them and keeps track of all the phone calls and won't let her speak to her friends. He's the mark. He's the target. And she's willing to, you know, be in it for the long haul, because it's better than working behind the counter at Starbucks. Okay, you know that scene in Casino when Robert De Niro, you know, marries Sharon Stone and he walks into the cloakroom on their wedding day and she's on the phone crying to her ex-boyfriend who hasn't got a pot to piss in, telling him that she loves him. Okay, that one scene is more educational to rich men than 100 scenes of Keanu Reeves dressed up like fucking Gary Newman going... What the fuck? Oh, fucking here we go. Oh, right. Sorry about that. Right, it's a different backdrop. What it is my friend across the road, him and his partner, they've gone away for the weekend fishing, I think, and I'm house sitting for him, and I thought, because my head was banging, I thought I'd come over and sleep in their spare room, because the bed, I just, well, that's torn it. Right, I was going to come over, I was going to do the rest of the episode like this, but I just realised I forgot my fucking sunglasses. Cunt. Bollocks. I'm not well enough to go back over there and grab them. Right, if there's anybody watching this episode right now and they haven't seen any other episodes, I've had a stroke. Okay? And at the beginning of the year, and yeah, so... oh God, yeah, I'm not going to do the rest of the episode like this now, because I can't be asking him. I just need a kip, so I'll do the rest of it tomorrow. I'm sorry about all these the delays in between episodes, but yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'll do the rest of it tomorrow. Okay, see you. Good night. Oh, right. Where was I? Right, yeah, the Andrew Tate wannabes. You know, they all come across like they're addicted to that feeling you get. You know, when you're walking home in the morning after having a one night stand with a woman that's way out of your league. You know, you're walking home, it's 7 o'clock on a spring Sunday morning. You light up a cigarette. You know, you can still smell her on your fingers. Your lips are looking like Joker from Batman. They're red raw. Okay, from having your face between her legs for 4 hours trying to make her come. Your tongue's like that. And you get on the bus, you know, and they're like, can I have a single to the town centre, please, guys? Cheers, mate. You know. And you sat there with your head up against the window, looking out as the world passes by, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, I am gonna have a wank on the strength of last night for years to come." I didn't even have to pay for it either. Result. And then she's back at her flat, staring into the fucking void like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Oh, I am never, ever going to take cocaine with ecstasy when I've been drinking again. I just, oh my I can't believe it. Kevin Coleman. Yeah. That's exactly what's going on. I got no delusions about myself. Okay, I'm the mistake, me. I'm the one they'd like to forget about. And I know it. I know it. You know, I'm not the guy that's going to be texting them, you know, later that evening asking them if they want to come out for a coffee in the week, or if they you know, they want to go and see Top Gun 2 at the cinema. I'm perfectly aware of how far down the fuck ladder I belong. The problem with these fucking idiots I'm talking about is, you know, they think if they sleep with a beautiful woman, it's because they're brilliant. Yeah, oh, look, I'm brilliant. You know, and it gives them some sort of superiority complex where they get obsessed with trying to impress other men. You know, I've seen them in the past, you know, on podcasts, you know, and they're saying stupid shit like, when a woman walks into a room, or when a man walks into a room with a beautiful woman, a woman who's a 10, it commands respect of other men, and they will naturally look up to you and respect you. Only if you surround yourself with fucking dweebs and other creepy fucking preening weirdos like yourself, you know, comparing themselves to each other with a side eye, you know, as they're there. You know, but really they got this internal dialogue going on, you know, like Christian Bale in American Psycho. And inside their head it's like, you know, oh my God, look at his shoes. Look at his shoes. Oh, they go so well with his girlfriend's earrings. Bastard. Oh, his girlfriend's cleavage. His girlfriend's cleavage is so much bigger than my girlfriend's cleavage. All the other men are going to be looking at her more than they're going to be looking at my girlfriend now. What am I going to do? Oh, you twerp. You know, I guarantee those same guys, okay, those same guys would never, ever take their woman out to a place where there are other men who aren't weaker than them or who are just as alpha. You know, that's why they're always sat in the VIP section. Alright? It's not because, you know, it's not about the prestige or the privilege or having your own private part of the club, because, you know, you want people to think that you're something special or because you're better than everyone else. Okay? It's because, you know, without that bouncer keeping guard of the velvet rope that you've paid extra for, okay, there's a very, very good chance that some really, really tough guy, okay, would start chatting up your missus. You know, and you'd be in a position where, you know, your masculinity gets tested in real time without a production company who are there to make you look good. You know, you're like, yeah, come on, honey, we got to go. And, you know, it's these cunts with their Facebook reels and who like to give us all the impression that when they're sat around the table in their offices or their war rooms, as some of them call it, you know, showing edited video clips of them on their phones, you know, trying to give everybody the impression that they're doing big, hardcore business deals, okay, when really what they are doing, okay, is they're checking to see where their trophy girlfriend is because they secretly put a tracker on their car, you know, or they're texting her to say, yeah, I just saw you posting a picture of yourself on Instagram. You were wearing makeup. What are you wearing makeup for? Who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? Yeah, I saw the way you were looking at the waiter the other night at the restaurant the other day. Yeah, you didn't ask him to pay for your meal, did you? No, because he wouldn't be able to afford it because he's a fucking waiter. He's not an alpha male like me. I swear, if I ever catch you so much as looking in the direction of another man, I won't buy you those shoes you wanted for Valentine's Day. Man, that's the exact kind of people most of them are, okay? I know I'm overgeneralizing, but hey, what the fuck? You know, no matter what strata of society you're on, whether it's up there with the cigar-chomping podcaster, alpha male fucking wankers with fancy cars and Armani suits, or down here on every man street, okay? You know, it's the same kinds of people. You know, you haven't got to be rich to be a controlling arsehole. They're everywhere. I mean, it's always the little fucking chopsy cunt in work or down the pub who's always trying to convince everybody he's the alpha or he's one of the top boys and he's a hard man. It's always that prick that ends up with his mugshot, you know, there in the South Wales Echo or on Wales Online News because he's been sent to jail for 3 years for domestic abuse, coercive and controlling behaviour, restraining orders, assault and battery. Fucking arsehole. It takes more than a fucking turkey teeth, sleeve tattoos, a gold chain and a BMW on the Never Never, okay, you fucking unoriginal fucking cunt. Man, right. I mean, if you want to sleep or be sexually intimate with the kind of woman that these red pill alpha male influencers would consider as being a 10, okay? You don't have to be forking out for expensive meals or driving around in a Bugatti and pushing your chest out while smoking cigars, okay? All I had to do was lie. Okay? Seriously, I remember this one time I'd lost a lot of weight because I was addicted to amphetamines, and I'm talking to someone I know who was a doorman on one of the nightclubs in town. Okay? I'd just been to a wedding. Alright? So I was wearing a suit, which is very rare for me because I fucking hate wearing suits, okay? It's like being back at school again. I hate it, okay? I fucking hate suits. But there are some women that fall for stupid shit like a man in a suit. And I remember I'm talking to the bouncer, and you know, and I remember this woman, she's a little tipsy, stunning, and she comes up to me and she went, I know you, don't I? Yeah, I know you. You're a rugby player. You play rugby, don't you? You're a rugby player. And I'm like, what, me? What, me? Rugby? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tonight I do, definitely. Yeah, goalkeeper. I am. I'm a goalkeeper. Yeah. Another trick, okay, is put a rolled up, especially if you're not well endowed like myself, is you put a piece of rolled up toilet roll in your pants. Okay, it definitely changes how they start speaking to you once they, you know, they give it a glance accidentally on purpose, checking you out. I mean, I know it's going to be a little bit awkward if you get a result and she does take you back to a flat for a one-night stand, but, you know, worry about that when you get there. It's no different from when you put your hand under a woman's bra and one of those chicken fillet things falls out, okay? I'm not proud of it, but, you know, equal means the same as, ladies, okay? Not fucking more than. Alright? Sometimes you just gotta improvise. But no, seriously. Alright, there have been a few times in my 52 years of existence that I have slept with the kind of woman that these red pill arseholes would consider as being a 10. Okay, but I would never, ever, ever in a million years be desperate enough to want to impress other men by fucking marrying one. You know, and then spend the rest of my days just controlling and tracking her every move. You know, because deep down I know that she don't give a fuck about me. I'd rather be single. Alright, thank you very much. You know, I can always have a wank. I need a little bit of heart and soul. Thank you very much, okay? And I certainly don't ever want to get fucking married. Unless it's an elderly widow who's a multi-millionaire and we come to some sort of financial agreement. Okay, but, you know, even then I'd probably be willing to wear a suit and do it in a church. What can I say? I was watching a video earlier and he said that Andrew Tate's scamming people. He's a scam artist, he's ripping people off. Who isn't? Okay, when has there ever been a time when people haven't been ripping each other off in some form or another? I mean, we live in a world where people are still willing to pay good money to listen to U2. And they're fucking happy about it. You know, but before the internet was a thing back in the late 80s, early 90s, you'd always get these men that would knock the door and ask you to join their sales team. I remember a mate of mine inviting me and a few other friends over to his house to meet this guy who would stand in the middle of a room with a flip chart. And I can't remember what it was. They may have been selling Tupperware or something. I can't remember. It was an American company. And some of us who were a little bit streetwise would see this guy there talking with his magic man, you know, and straight away we'd say, oh, this guy's full of shit. And after we went, you know, I remember saying to him, I went, man, he's full of shit, man. He's a fucking idiot. And my mate said, no, he's a good bloke. Seriously, he's good. He's a top guy. Man, you know, did you see his car? Fucking Jag, man. You know, he made $2,000 last month on sales. Yeah, well, the more of us that do it, the more we can spread the word, and then within about a year or so, we'll be rolling in it, man. Fucking rolling in it. And I'm like, fuck off. I'm not going around other people's houses trying to sell them shit. Okay? You know, but I think there was 3 people I knew that did it. Well, we're sitting on the steps down by the flat, you know, and they're all there rubbing their hands, talking about what they were going to do with, you know, with the money that they were going to make. And then they were asking every person that walked past us in the street if they were interested. Hey, you want to get on this? You know, like they were Al Pacino and Glenn Ross or something. Man, did they make the money? Did they fuck? You know, it's the same kind of thing. You know, it's just now, instead of knocking on doors and trying to convince people face to face to pay into your bullshit, you can now get someone with a camera to make professional looking clips of you walking out of a tall building as you button up your suit jacket and looking to the distance as if you didn't know someone was filming, and You know, you can add soundtracks and music like do do do, reach for the stars, do do do, climb so high. That kind, you know, it's easier to create the illusion when you've got a camera phone and editing equipment. Okay, there's always going to be flash bastards selling their dreams to the gullible in order to fund their own lifestyle. It's always different and it's always the same. The only thing that changes is the fucking technology, okay? Man, fuck. Right, where was I? Crypto coins. Andrew Tate is the cause of misogyny in young men. Andrew Tate is the cause of misogyny in young men. Really? Really? How old is he? About what? 35 at most. I'm pretty sure that misogyny was around long before Andrew Tate was on the internet. Okay, I mean, you know, boys treating girls, isn't that a parent's thing, something that the parents are supposed to teach them? Can mothers and fathers, you know, not explain to their sons the concept of online sales and marketing and satire? And the fathers then maybe set an example for their sons by treating their mothers with respect, even when she's driving them up the fucking wall. You know, and unless the fathers are not around because the novelty of having sex with a real woman is worn off, and the reality of being responsible for an actual, you know, breathing, living child is put a dampener on it. You know, it seems pretty obvious to me. If children are viewing that kind of content, then isn't that a parent thing? Okay, that's your responsibility. You know, it's the internet, for fuck's sake. What do you expect? Andrew Tate is the tip of the iceberg. He's the PG part of the internet. 15 years ago, I remember I was working in, you know, it doesn't matter. I remember going up in the canteen and these two young lads, okay, they were only about 16, 17, Saturday workers, and they were watching on their phone real life footage of a man laying down in the middle of a forest in Eastern Europe somewhere, okay, having his face smashed open with a hammer by these three young boys. For real. Okay, his whole face is split open. And they smash it, okay, his eyeball is hanging out. He's gurgling on his blood. And they're pushing his eyeball around with a screwdriver. And they're laughing. They're fucking laughing. And he's still conscious, he's gurgling, you know, and then they get the screwdriver and they start just stabbing him in the abdomen. And there was subtitles and he's going, he won't die, he won't die. And this is real, okay? They were put in prison for it, okay? During the pandemic, somebody was watching on their phones a Mexican drug cartel video, and they had a guy laying on a kitchen floor. His arms had been severed from below the elbows. He's there. They'd skinned him alive. And they got box cutters and they're stabbing him in his mouth and his throat. And they got him hooked up to an IV drip, probably injecting him with adrenaline or liquid cocaine so that he's wide awake and he can feel as much pain as possible before he dies. And this is real. Okay, it's real torture, real death, and real abuse, but a few clicks away. Andrew Tate is small potatoes as far as the internet is concerned, okay? Every generation got its boogeyman. I mean, you know, when I was a teenager, you know, people would always say that me and my mates, if we carried on listening to Ozzy Osbourne, okay, that me and my mates would become bloodthirsty Satanists and kill our parents and sacrifice ourselves and virgins to the devil. Ozzy Osbourne's a national treasure now. You know, Jimmy Savile, he was a national treasure from the beginning. A British icon. A British icon. You know, he was so respected by the government that they gave him keys to a hospital so that he could molest the corpses of dead women in the morgue. Okay, every generation has its boogeyman to divert everyone from the fact that The government is always the ones that are really fucking us. Okay, there's more things to be worried about than some bald bloke smoking a cigar, saying a few choice words to rile people up, clicks and hits on Twitter or whatever. Okay? And people say, oh, well, what about the allegations? What about the allegations? Well, they're allegations. I wasn't there, okay? Were you? I don't think so. Alright, that's for the courts to decide, okay? This isn't about that. Innocent till proven guilty as far as I'm concerned. Just because I disagree with what somebody says in a fucking Facebook reel, doesn't mean that I'm okay with them going to jail for something if they didn't do it, okay? I mean, I don't know. Has he got a family? I think he's got wives. Has he got children? What about them? He's probably just a normal bloke when he's not acting up for the fucking camera. I don't condemn people just because I don't like them or I don't like what they say. That's another problem nowadays. More and more people are willing to see an innocent man hang just for the sake of winning an argument, okay? I'm going right off track now. Man. I just think that these alpha male influencers, okay, if they especially the ones that are already millionaires, if they really want to help young men, then they should talk about their insecurities, something we can all relate to. Be more fucking inclusive. I mean, don't go picking on people because they haven't got money or they're not ripped or good looking enough. Well, you need to get down the fucking gym. You do, you fucking fat piece of shit. Well, what's the matter? You fucking depressed, are you? You fucking depressed? Get down the gym, you fucking pussy. Get down the gym. And yeah, but do you know what? Going down the gym does help with depression. Alright? 100%. Okay, but in my experience, when someone, who's overweight or underweight does go to the gym and try to get fit and improve themselves, there's always these fucking arrogant cunts who buy into all this alpha male fucking nonsense that are there taking the piss. Look a fatty over there. Look a fatty trying to lose weight. What, you don't break the exercise, you fucking fat cunt? Man, look at that skinny guy over there. Look at him. You got arms like strings of spaghetti. Man, you don't belong in the gym, mate. You're better off going to the library, you fucking nerd. I bet you he's still a virgin. Yeah, he's still a virgin. I bet you he's never even had a kiss before. You probably can't drive, yeah. What you drive, mate? Fucking Robin Reliant. Okay? That's why there's signs all over the gym talking about acceptance and being inclusive and tolerance. Okay? That's why there's an advert coming over the tannoy every 15 minutes promoting a policy of no harassment. Okay? It's got fuck all to do with the wolf wine virus and everything to do with fucking ignorant cunts who need to be constantly fucking reminded that we're not in the schoolyard anymore and picking on easy targets isn't the done thing. Especially if you're somebody who considers yourself as an alpha. Okay, you fucking cowards. Pick on somebody who can fight back or shut the fuck up, okay, before you upset the wrong person and suffer the kind of humiliation you won't fucking walk away from. That's what you need. You need to be fucking battered by somebody you're making fun of in front of all the girls. Get brought down a fucking peg or two. It's always the fucking, I don't know, somebody, some cocky, overconfident, judgmental, chopsy fucker goes around saying, oh, look at these fucking posters. No harassment. Fucking back in my day, okay, you could batter some fat kid or some skinny kid in the shower and everybody would just join in and laugh with you. Now it's all about tolerance and inclusiveness. Fucking no harassment. Man, no wonder this country is going down the fucking drain. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be complaining so much about the no harassment policy golden balls, okay? Because if I had it my way, I'd be encouraging people to wrap that fucking kettlebell around your fucking face. Oh, God. You know, I've said this many times before, okay? People like that, they can fucking dish it, but they can't take it because they're insecure, okay? Everybody's got something. I mean, my insecurities have ruined my life so far. It's only over the last 2-3 years that I've started making a conscious effort to get to the bottom of it all. Again, thank fuck for the NHS. I don't want to go too deep. I may have alluded to something, you know, it's like a Pandora's box. I open it, you know, full of horrors that I've been blocking out for the last 40 years, okay? I mean, yeah, I've always been under the impression that I was a greedy cunt. You know, I've never been able to do anything in moderation. When I was young, it was food, then it was cigarettes, okay, then alcohol, weed, cocaine, ecstasy, pornography, sex, and then when I finally quit it all, I quit all the bad stuff, and then I started getting addicted to the gym until I had my stroke. Okay, I mean, this time last year, for the first time in my life, after doing about 2 hours on a bike every day, I'm standing looking at the mirror thinking, oh yeah, not bad, man. Hey, penis is getting bigger. And a couple of hours later, okay, I'm at home laying on the bathroom floor like that. No, man, it's okay, it's not a stroke. Yeah, I'm alright, I'm fine. I just had too much coffee, I think. Yeah, I just had too much coffee. I had 4 flasks of coffee, including the 3 cups of coffee I had, and I had 4 Monster energy drinks, sugar-free, and yeah, it's a caffeine overdose. I think just, you know, I'll be okay in the morning. Fuck. Oh, here we go again. Oh, let me get this over with. I do apologise. Yeah, it's only recently that I'm learning the reasons why I am the way I am, okay, and why I've been the way I've been. And it's rather fucking embarrassing. It's a lot of horrible, dark, depressing, gloomy, low vibration, sludgy, horrible experiences that have ruined the chance of me ever having a family. Okay, I'll admit it. I'll only say this once in this episode for the sake of honesty, and after this now I'll revert back to my original stance of, I don't want children, I always wanted to have children when I was younger, okay, but, things happen when you're a kid that make it so you'll never be able to have them, okay, because I could never, from about the age of 10, I could never ever stand anybody coming near me, okay? Which is a bit of a pain in the ass when you want to be intimate with a member of the opposite sex. So in order to feel comfortable enough to let a woman close to me, I have to be off my fucking face on drugs to block out that shit that goes through my head at a time when I should be relaxed. Okay, and eventually you take so much drugs that you just can't get it up anymore, alright? It's ruined every fucking relationship I've ever had. And in my last job, and I think I mentioned it in a previous episode, I think episode 9 of A Coffee with Kev, there's help if you want it. Okay, have a look at that episode. There was this lad who was half my age, proper fucking wide boy racing fucking cunt. Okay? Always smacking my ass when I go out, pretending to grab my balls. Things like that, typical lad fucking shit. Even now as I talk about it, I can feel the anger rising up in my chest. And maybe there's 1 or 2 people watching this who might have been witness to what I'm talking about. Okay? And if by some chance that toothless fucking piece of shit I'm referring to is watching this, don't you ever fucking approach me in public if you see me, cunt. Okay? Take that as a telling and move on. Learn your fucking lesson and understand you are lucky to be alive. Fucking lucky. I've had a session today talking about how I wanted to fucking murder you. So, you know, fuck. And at the time, I can't believe I put up with his behavior. I was so low at the time, okay, when I started that job, because I came back from Scotland. My relationship didn't work out, with a woman, thanks to the exact same reason that I'm talking about, and all I was interested in was getting enough money to get off my fucking face to forget about it all, okay? I had enough. And now on the outside, there was obviously something about me, the way I was, the way I carried myself, that gave this fucking cunt the minerals to behave the way towards me that he did. And it just keeps going round and round in my head. For years I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. For real. I'm yeah. And I nearly did it. If it wasn't for the pandemic, okay, and him just, I'd be in jail, okay? But I'm not. I'm sober. And after 30 years of people telling me to get help and, me being off my fucking tits, going, oh, fuck off, trying to be the big man, trying to be the alpha at times as well, causing all sorts of chaos, getting involved in all sorts of fucking drama, putting myself in positions where it's fucking bad, man, okay? And, none of these bad things would have happened later in life if it weren't for the things that happen, that affect, everything has an effect. It's just fucking because, because when you open your heart up about something that's troubling you, people are, get over it, man up, or they mock you. Yeah. Man. I'm going right off here. Right. What's the point? Yeah, the point is, if you're a father and you've got a son, okay, and you say you've never been in or you've never won a fight, but you want your son to be tough, okay, don't give him all that, okay, send him to a self-defense class and teach him to help other kids who are weaker. Not getting to go out there and lord it over people and fucking take, just that the way I see it, that lad that I was talking about just now that I wanted to kill, okay, he probably was bullied. Actually, I know, because I knew somebody that knew him, and because I was going to fucking batter him in the middle of the depot, and I knew somebody that lived up his way, and I went, oh, this is and he went, what? He said, the guy's a fucking village idiot. He's always fucking lying. He's known for it. He's a fucking village idiot. So yeah, he was behaving that way towards me because maybe that's how people have always behaved towards him. And now that I've sobered up and I've sorted myself out, I kind of forgive him. I don't ever want to see him because I don't know what I'm capable of doing. I'm sorting shit out. I don't know what I'm saying. Just fucking... Yeah, Andrew Tate isn't the fucking problem. Fathers need to bring up their sons properly and, be there for them. And I don't know. What the fuck? Right. Sorry about the delay, and we'll talk about things in another episode. Knowing my luck now, I'll go asleep, and I'll be there, dreaming about boobs or something. Deep in sleep, and all of a sudden I'll have a whiff of cigar smoke. I'll wake up, and then, Andrew Tate and his brother and a couple of women are all there dressed like the Matrix. So you think you're funny taking a piss out of my fucking kiss, do you? You fucking fat fucking pussy. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm only joking, mate. I can't do it, man. I'm gonna throw up. Oh. See you on the next episode. Hopefully it'll be up soon now. I just gotta calm it down a bit. Take care, folks. Have a good week. Speak soon.